my fellow panelists, and dear friends. Though I've had a structured PowerPoint presentation where I barely touch upon CCTNS, I've been instructed by the chairperson to speak more about CCTNS. So we'll start with CCTNS straight away. It is Criminal Tracking Network and Systems. It is the latest offering from Government of India, which aims at creating a network of 14,000 police stations and 6,000 higher police officers. So 20,000 locations in all across the length and breadth of this country. It is a project of 2,000 crores, which will run concurrently with the 11th plan. And at the end of it, you will have a complete connectivity across the nation. We will have something called a core application software, which primarily would take care of the investigation and prosecution, which would be handed over to the states. And it is to be customized at the level of the states. And combined together, you will have the software on which the police in India will run. Suffice to say that the software is not an ERP solution. It would be restricted to basically investigation, prosecution, and some citizen-centric services. For the first time, a project of this nature moves on to a plan head of account. It's been cleared by the Planning Commission, and the states are supposed to provide the data in the nature and the format which NCRB and the Government of India would require to have. Added to that, you are supposed to provide 9 citizen-centric services. We have been talking about the FIR, we have been talking about large number of forms and approvals which you generally, the citizen is supposed to get from the government. Now all these facilities would be provided to the citizens through the portal which will be established but in different states by the respective governments, and I presume at the Government of India level by the agencies at the central level. The project as of now has reached the level of core application software. The basic formalities are over, and Wipro has been allotted with the task of creating this core application software, which they are supposed to deliver in another 52 weeks time. This is the first time where you have the concept of bundled facilities and bundled resources, where from the site preparation till the hand holding, every single activity is accounted for, and there is a timeline for every single activity. If the project goes on course, by end of the financial year 2011-2012, we are supposed to complete this project. The rollout would be complete. As far as the implementation of this project is concerned, there are clear-cut governing structures. You have state empowered committees, you have state apex committees in different states with the prescribed nature of the job, periodicity of their meetings, and the powers which has been ascribed to them. So based on the powers they have and the functions they have, they are attending to their duties, and there is a monitoring mechanism at the central level which takes care of the project on a weekly, monthly, and annual basis. We have had a couple of other projects. I think since 1994, Government of India has made very serious efforts to computerize the Indian police. But I don't think that we have achieved the results for which these projects were initiated, and the present project, by its nature of the governing structure and the nature of professionals which are being associated to this by way of your central management consultancy. So these are the people. We have some organization called National Institute of Smart Government. So these are the people who are providing consultancy, and you have a concept of a system integrator all the way, which was generally been lacking in the earlier projects. So this project is a totally different offering. It is more on a professional basis, and the likelihood of this project being successful is much higher than any other project in the past. So this is broadly the CCTNS project. And for the CCTNS project, based on the performance and based on the level of computerization which different states have, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Gujarat, they are treated as a lead state. Lead state is provided with the liberty to run its own software, and the complete funding would be done by the Government of India as long as you are able to provide the necessary information which Government of India needs at different intervals. And you are also able to provide the 9 citizen-centric services which the Planning Commission intends the police agencies to provide to the citizens of this country. So this is broadly what CCTNS is. We are still in the initial phases. As far as Karnataka is concerned, we have ERP, which is nearly developed by now by Wipro, and being the lead state, we are not going to fall back upon the core application software being created by Government of India. We'll continue with our own software. We have the liberty to do the same as per the Memorandum of Understanding with the Government of India. So, we might come back to CCTNS over the course of this presentation. I'll run through the presentation which I have prepared for public safety and security for the audience here. So, we'll start with the introduction and definition. What is Homeland Security? What do we have in India today? We have been talking quite a bit about databases and things of that nature. But on a day-to-day basis, a database can only be created on a day-to-day basis. If day-to-day basis we are not able to create a database out of a ERP which is working in my department, I don't think any other system is going to deliver anything. You have a command and control structure, a center. There is a major incident. You react to the major incident. You carry on you take the injured to the hospital. You do all activities which all of you are associated, which all of you know and which you see on the TV cameras on a day-to-day basis. After that, what? Safe city, network radio communication, interception, city-based video surveillance, internet, and other issues. And at the end, I'll just like to elaborate on a responsive technological framework for public safety. So what public safety exactly means? It involves the prevention and protection from significant danger. What has happened over the course of last couple of years, 9/11 to 16/11 and henceforth? So we are supposed to believe that public safety and security finally gets restricted to command and control centers and only to emergency situations. So public safety in ICT parlance is being talked about only in terms of command and control centers and safe cities, and misses out on its purview, the whole of the rural India, and non-serious emergency situations related to day-to-day public order and security. Our sense of security is related to the response of the police and the government agencies to the day-to-day policing requirements. It might be a small robbery, it might be a series of dacoity, it might be a situation next to a school which creates scare in children out there. So it can be any situation. It's not that there were no issues of public safety and security before terrorism came into vogue, or because before Naxalism literally gained control of quite a few areas in the country. Do we have the organizations which finally, we talk about Homeland Security over and over again. We are still not aware of the 23 organizations which finally merged into Homeland Security. How did these mergers took place? How did they have one single command and control structure which got so seamlessly integrated to give the results which it has been giving since the day of 9/11? So we have to get into the nitty-gritty of things. The whole expertise of whether it's the government or the vendor who is working for the government is to finally you bring to the ground the ideas which we are talking about. We still don't have a command and control center of the nature we have been talking about in the last couple of years. So in India, what is the future of all these things? Safe city we have discussed over and over again. So as a concept, it should take care of all the requirements of a city, from the law and enforcement angle, and from the angle where if there is a major natural disaster or there is a major man-made disaster. A centralization of command and delegation of authority. So I think all of you, we have been, it is very often repeated. So what happened in 26/11? So from the SHO of Bazad Maidan police station to the highest executive in this country, how command and control structure it worked or it did not work, and what were the